The first weed that some of us know so well is perfectionism. Anybody deal with perfectionism? Perfectionism is insane. It expects that everything we do be perfect the moment we do it. There's no room for error. There's no room for practice. It's just got to be perfect or don't do it, right? Does anybody recognize those voices? As an artist, as a working artist, I really struggle with perfectionism because everything in my humanity wants to only create if I'm going to create something perfect. I don't want to take that picture unless it's going to be perfect, right? I don't want to write that book unless it's going to be perfect. I need it to be perfect. What is the matter with me? Why do I need things to be perfect? It's ridiculous. Right? I have this saying in my life that I love that I got from Julia Cameron. She wrote The Artist's Way, and that book is like my creative Bible. It's called The Artist's Way. For those of you who are artists in this room, you will love that book. One of her phrases in that book is, progress, not perfection, is what we should be asking of ourselves. Progress, not perfection. So, the other day, Brian comes up to me, and the kids are with my mom and dad. And he's like, we're just going to have just a fun night tonight at home together. We're going to do something different. So he gets his guitar, and he's just started taking guitar lessons. He's played the guitar forever, but he's never actually taken lessons. So he gets his guitar out, and he opens this bottle of champagne, and he says, I want you to sit down at the piano, because he knows I used to play piano when I was little. I have not played the piano in like 15 years, right? But it sits in our house. And so he's like, I want you to play the piano while I play the guitar. It's gonna be so romantic. We're just gonna make music together. I'm like, you're joking, right? You need a case of champagne for me to do that. I'm not doing that with you. And so I'm just like, no, this is not my idea of fun. And he's like, well, you're the one who's always talking about progress, not perfection. So I'm trying to create some oxygen in your life to just be creative without it like our bills being paid depending on it. Nobody's listening. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do this. This is so nerve-wracking. I feel sick. I wanna throw up right now. And so I literally over the years of learning to play the piano, I always learned with sheet music. I never, ever sat down and learned how to improvise on the piano. So I can play like Beethoven, but as long as I have the sheet music, right? He's like, no, I want this to come from your heart, Me Ra. I'm like, great, And so I'm sitting at the piano, and he, hands me the glass of champagne, and he's like, just drink it down right now. I could tell you're totally stressed out. And I'm like, it's not gonna help. And so I drink it down, and he starts playing, and I start yelling at him. And I'm like, Brian, I can't stand you right now. Why are you making me do this? This is my husband. Huh? I can't hear you. He is like a golden retriever. Any of you seen a golden retriever? It's like an eternity smile on his face. So he's just like, I can't hear you. I'm waiting for you, honey. I'm waiting for you to make music with me. Okay, so what is the big deal? It's not like anybody's listening. I'm with the safest person in my life, my husband. Neighbors aren't standing at the door. Nobody even knows what we're doing. But you see what I'm saying? This need to be perfect, to not want to be foolish, to look foolish, to sound foolish. That is a weed we got to get out. And so we started playing together, and it sounded ridiculous. I'm not joking you. It sounded so silly. But as we started playing, I started actually having fun. And he got more into it, and I got more into it, and I was like, oh yeah. So then we did this another time when the kids weren't home, and then we decided to do it once when the kids were home. And I was really nervous because I was like, kids have never really heard mom play the piano. We've had a piano in our house their whole life, and they don't even know probably what it does. So I'm like, let's just do this. So we sit down, and Brian and I start doing this. We don't say anything to the kids. Blaze comes in, and he lays on the couch, and when we're done, he's like, Mom, that was the most beautiful thing ever. Now, he's so sweet. Like, he knows what to say, right? But it was opening this room for error in our home. I cannot tell my kids to go for it if I don't go for it myself.